Hi everyone, I'm Lori with Behavior Education at Spirit Keeper Animal Sanctuary. I am here this evening with Boba Fett, one of our Royals at the Ranch. And what I'm going to try to do between now and when we finish up our Royals at the Ranch series in midsummer, I'm going to try to feature each Royal that we have here at the ranch in their own episode. Well, this is Boba Fett's episode, and it's actually really easy to do. Pretty much every episode could be Boba Fett's episode, because as you can see, I was here working. I'm grading a homework assignment that I gave one of our interns, and Boba Fett wanted out. Despite the fact that he's been out every night this week and he ate last night, he still wanted out of his enclosure. He lives on my desk. He's a super outgoing guy, and this video is going to be all about him. Hi everyone, it's Lori with Behavior Education at Spirit Keeper Animal Sanctuary. I was filming an intro to a couple of other videos, and I was holding this little guy. His name is Boba Fett, spelled P-F-E-T-T, and he's a Python Regis that came from Bad Reptiles, B-A-D-D, and you can find them on Morph Market. But I just thought I would tell you a little bit about him because he's a really special snake. First of all, I was actually looking at another snake that they had for sale, and he caught my eye because I thought he was absolutely gorgeous. Yes, he's a brown snake. He's mostly brown. He iridesces a little bit. He's got some darker coloration on his head, and he has a very faint tan stripe down his back. He is a cinnamon genetic stripe, and he is just the coolest snake. And the people from Bad Reptiles actually told me about his temperament and behavior without me having to specifically ask, which excited me to no end. I just asked, what can you tell me about this snake? And they told me a bunch of things about his personality and how active he was and how he behaved when they were interacting with him, how he behaved when they just opened his tub and let him do what he wanted. And they were 100% correct about his temperament and behavior. They said that he was very active and I would have to keep an eye on him because he likes to go places, basically, and he sure does. For a Python Regis, I would say that he's an outlier. He's not typical of his species. I've seen him awake during the day and coming out to drink a few times. I've had him wake up early when it's still daylight outside and explore his enclosure and then want out of his enclosure. And if he's not in shed, he basically wakes up in the evening and he wants to come out of his enclosure and explore. I've had no problem feeding him. He's been eating both frozen thawed rats and mice, and he's just extremely curious. He's very bold. He is not reactive or fearful, as you can see, and I'm just thrilled with him. I'm absolutely thrilled with him. And so I just wanted to mention him and where I got him, and say that if you're interested in an excellent pet snake, a family member, that I would absolutely not hesitate to contact Bad Reptiles. Again, I'll put all of their information in the video description. And they will be honest with you about the snake's temperament and personality and behavior, and they absolutely pay attention to those things. They watch each snake's individual behavior, and they're able to tell you about each one's individual temperament. I did get the original snake from them that I was looking at, which is a Suma Python Regis. It's pretty much almost an all black snake. And she is also how they described. She is not as active and outgoing as Boba Fett here, but I'm not disappointed in her personality and temperament at all. But she's just more of an average royal python that has had some environmental stimulation and some exposure to people in a positive way. So she isn't fearful and she's visible, but she mostly is awake at night. A lot of my royal pythons wake up around midnight and they come out and they're very active at that time. And then they usually find a place to go back to sleep before dawn. So I think that's why many people don't see their royal pythons, because they are out a lot at night. Occasionally I'll see some of them out during the day. And then for the most part, compared to other python species I work with, like Bredl's pythons, carpet pythons, reticulated pythons, and the children's pythons, they are just not as active. However, Boba Fett is giving some of my pythons a run for their money because he is very active and I'm just so pleased with him. He is just the neatest little snake. I already have him in a 3x18x18 Exoterra, and he looks like he just has massive amounts of space in there. I have it very cluttered with branches and plants and rocks and lizard nets and all hides and all kinds of stuff for him to do. But he still wants out every night and he travels. He explores great distances within my home and I have to keep an eye on him. So I'm looking forward to when he grows up into a bigger snake that I can sort of let roam around and I don't have to keep quite as close an eye on. I found Boba Fett, or Fett as I call him for short, Pfett, on Morph Market when I was initially looking at a Suma or Super Mahogany Python Regis, which is basically a nearly all black or very dark brown snake with few to no markings. And Bad Reptiles, that's Bad, BADD, had a beautiful female Suma listed that I was inquiring about. I noticed that they actually had information about temperament included in all of their listings. They had the individual hatch dates, and they provided more than one photo of each animal. I asked if she was kept in a tub, and I asked what they could tell me about her. I just left it as an open-ended question. I noticed this gorgeous brown snake with a tan stripe down his back and asked about him as well. I also asked if the brown snake would keep his color, and I absolutely loved the responses that I got from the people at Bad Reptiles. Here is an example, and I have put all of this together from the several different messages that went back and forth between us on Morph Market. So the answer to my initial question, if the Suma was kept in a tub, was this. Yes, she is kept in a tub. However, I do pull out the babies daily to check their well-being. My daily routine is to turn on the lights, wish them a good morning, then proceed to sing to them as I'm cleaning their tubs. The ones that come out to play with varies. I'll play with them a bit and then place them back in the tub. At that time, they seem pretty satisfied and settle in without a complaint. The Suma is one of them that is always out and very curious about what's going on. She's a happy little snake with lots of character. I thought that was absolutely a fantastic answer to my question. And I didn't even specifically ask about behavior and temperament and ask them to do my little temperament test, but it seems like they're just kind of doing that intuitively on their own. So I had also asked about the brown snake, and that's Fett, and he's actually a genetic striped cinnamon. And this is what they said about him. The genetic striped cinnamon will retain that reddish brown color. That boy is sometimes overly active. You give him a chance and he's out and exploring. I've got to keep an eye on him at all times. Since he likes to be out, I'll keep the tub open while I'm working with the other snakes. For the most part, he will just sit on the rim of the tub and watch me. Let me know if you have any other questions. Thank you, Bobby. And Bad Reptiles is run by Bobby Aldrich and Doug Day. I really enjoyed corresponding with them, and I was very pleased they were able to give me details about each snake's personality. I was also very impressed that a few days after Fett and the Suma, who I named Pfynnec, arrived, they messaged me to check on them and see how they were settling in. I have been super pleased with the animals and with Bad Reptiles' friendly and detailed back and forth messages with me about the snakes' individual behavior, genetics, feeding information, and how they were cared for. Pfynnec is a quiet snake but not fearful. She is active in her enclosure and eats well. Watch for a video about her in the future. And Fett is exactly how they described. He is energetic, active, bold, curious, and really, really, really likes to roam. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Boba Fett. And until next time, everybody please remember to always be kind and love your animals.